Guess who retained his title? Guess who is still the Gulf Coast Power Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Champion? I'll give you a hint. He's the reason you demark out. He puts the pro in pro wrestling. A lot of people say there's no show without him. And I know at least on a couple of occasions he's proven that he can walk on water. I'll give you some time. Give up? Come on. Really? You didn't? I know you did. I know you knew. I'm going to set this down real quick. Hey, you take good care of it. Don't scratch it. Don't scratch that. Priceless. What up, everybody? I hope everyone enjoyed their St. Patty's Day as much as I did. Not only because I successfully retained, I'm not going to get into how I retained, not just because I got to film, collaborate behind the curtain, Wrestling News Source. We did some WrestleMania 28 breakdown and predictions, which is out already if you haven't seen it. Not because I got to, earlier in that week, I got to see myself be part of the Shit Wrestlers Say. But, you know, it was St. Patty's Day and a reason to party, and I always like a good party, so there you have it. I'll talk Gulf Coast business the next time, the next time that we are performing at Gulf Coast. But, however, I'm here to talk about something of a bit of a milestone for me. Man, this is the week, like 5 years ago, the week. I had filmed my very first vlog. I didn't know if that was going to be the Lucha Lounge, or if that was just going to be a vlog. I think I filmed it just to get stuff off my chest. I was at PCW Arena. It was the Jeffrey Y'all's benefit show, Sanders Claus. A week earlier, a little over a week earlier, Ashley had passed. And then March 31st, I uploaded my first video to YouTube. So a lot of things have gone on. March is always kind of a weird month for me. It's like the terrible lows and great highs, and you know, a lot of healing. I did a lot of that last year, and I thought I would talk a bit about you know, having been on YouTube for 5 years. I actually had seen this comment placed on my on one of my videos, and it's been mentioned a few times about being criminally underviewed, and I thought, man, I'd talk about that. And it's also the 31st of this year. Not only will be marking my 5 year, but it will be the culmination of kind of months in the making, years in the making. I'll get into it probably in my next video. I'll touch on it this video. And then I do have a question to answer and a bit about what company I would choose if money was not a factor. I'll talk about that in a bit, and that was a question posted to me. So, 5 years. And still being told that I am criminally underviewed. Now, mind you, I am on Behind the Curtain, and I believe that's criminally underviewed given the hard work that Jay Smith does. I wish more people viewed it, obviously, you know, being the co-host of it. I would love more people to view it. But, you know, this is about the Lucha Lounge. It was a comment on my video, one of my last videos, about being criminally underviewed. I have close to 1,400 subscribers, so I have lost some subscribers. I kind of looked at other people, you know, that, I mean, been at this for 5 years, and in that time, like MB Wrestler went from being out of the business to being in the business to striving in the business, and congratulations to him, or Mikey O'Shea. True Slayer is still kind of chugging along, and he's ventured out to doing videos outside of wrestling, which is cool. And he's one of the first people to really give me a hand and give me a lot of my subscribers probably came from True Slayer actually replying to one of my videos. So I really have always, you know, wanted to thank him for that. And it's cool when I do get to see him at shows. You know, I do look at my view count. I mean, although I don't do the show purely for that, and I've always said, you know, if you had gone back to me 5 years previous, and even 5 years previous to like the beginning of the month, if you had talked to me maybe March 6th of 2007, my view of what could have potentially become of the Lucha Lounge would have been way different after that time. It was a different thought process, and it would have had a co-host and many adventures, different adventures. And who knows, you know, I always, you know, some people say, well, there's certain points or events in your life that kind of are altering, like, and I always think, well, March 8th is a altering, who knows where my life could have been if certain things. But, and there are times, you know, like I said, I do look at the view count. I mean, who wouldn't want more views? Who wouldn't want to have more subscribers? You know, who wouldn't want to have more people? Especially a guy that does wrestle, you know, that could mean more money. People coming to see me or wanting to see me or getting bookings to places specifically because of either the Lucha Lounge or Behind the Curtain. So, of course, I have to look at view count and subscribers, and you know, the thing is that I don't see it as, at least some people are viewing me. I think across the board, you know, because of the oversaturation of what's on YouTube and how big it's gotten, I think a lot of people in my position have suffered. I mean, there's guys who do fantasy cards that probably were getting bigger hits, and I've tried playing around with titles and trying to not put a wrestling term on a title just to see. I know we've tried different stuff with Behind the Curtain, like the shit wrestlers say, just to see if we could get people, or the dubstep wrestling remix. And it's popular, you know, and I think I'm real appreciative of anyone who subscribes to my channel or Behind the Curtain or Dojo Productions, or, you know, or just watches videos that I've had put out there. I mean, I've done over 150, and then there's stuff of me in action that's always being put out there. You know, then a handful of sign guys. I know, like I said, people film at shows. I'm always meeting people. A lot of the boys and girls in the back, you know, do watch it, or, you know, at least comment on it, which is great. You know, it's great to know that there are people that are appreciative of my work and like what I have to say, and like hearing my voice. And you know, I don't know if I'd ever do a podcast. Maybe at some point, maybe I would. I don't know if I'd ever own a Twitter. That was a question that's been raised. Should I get a Twitter? So I'm going to ask all the people that are viewing, should I get a Twitter? I don't know. I don't know. But, you know, I'm appreciative of all those people that have viewed me in some way, shape, or form, or comment about some stuff that I do. Or, like I said, you know, since I don't do a podcast, this has kind of become that weekly interaction with fans and friends and those who just want to ask questions, whether they subscribe or not. You know, again, it'd be great to, you know, have 10 times more subscribers that I have, and my videos get viewed 100 times more than they're getting viewed. I mean, it'd be great if I was breaking like 1,000, in the thousands every time, but I'm not going to be greedy. I mean, if people like watching me, great. At least they like watching me. Stuff could change come April when I start talking about the future for me and the future for the wrestling, you know, myself in the wrestling business, and the future for me as far as this goes. But that comes in April. I've got some stuff on my mind, some things that are going to come up. So, you know, I'll worry about them after the dust has settled, so to speak. But again, you know, it's been a wild ride. I definitely enjoy the medium. I definitely enjoy being able to reach out to people and having fans across the globe, so to speak. Obviously, again, getting more viewers would probably equal a little more success and maybe a bigger name in the grand scheme of things, but I don't have a complaint. I'm in a good place, and a lot better place than I was 5 years ago in a lot of different ways. So next, there was this question that I was asked on my Facebook, and it was right after I had mentioned becoming the new #1 contender to the TASW heavyweight title, which was March 3rd at the El Campo Rumble, and I talked about that. But I got this really thought-provoking question. And I'm going to read the question in its entirety so you kind of know where the question asker, there you go, is coming from. So this is from Cindy Mitchell Herrera. Again, it's on my Facebook. So I have a question for you if it isn't too inappropriate, which no question is too inappropriate. I could change my mind on that, but as of right now, no question is inappropriate. If earning capacity was equal across the board, would you choose to be involved with ROH with complete artistic and creative control, be involved with TNA with slightly less control and a bit of the made-for-TV drama, or be involved in WWE where the internal conflicts appear scripted? Regardless of the format differences, all require a significant level of skill and expertise. To me, WWE is highly scripted, yet still entertaining, but I prefer the WCCW and NWA formats I grew up watching in Irving. Sitting in the stands at the Sportatorium in Dallas, watching Von Erich's Fabulous Freebirds, Jimmy Garvin, Kamala, etc. was a lot more exciting than the flash of today's WWE. I mean, absolutely no disrespect to your craft, I just wonder. So, that is the question. And I you know what? If earning capacity was equal across the board, in a perfect world, which one would I go to? Now, obviously, anyone who knows the independents knows that anyone who does it doesn't do it for the money. Money's okay. And it feeds me and puts gas in my tank, and that's, that's cool. And sometimes I have a little extra, which, again, can't complain. I agree to the fee, so there you have it. But anyone who knows about the indies or knows me knows it's not for the money. I love doing what I do. So, but if earning capacity was equal, would I go to ROH, which is doesn't appear as scripted, and you have more artistic and creative freedom? So I'll talk about each, and then I'll give my decision. But ROH, I get more artistic. I would probably get to be Steve DeMarco. I hopefully wouldn't have to change my name. I think it's catchy, and I have a built-in frame of merchandise and YouTube and the Lucha Lounge behind the curtain, and hopefully if I was brought in, that's the way you'd bring me in, is this guy who does all this stuff on the internet, and I'd exploit it for what it is, obviously, and it would be cool. There's some young talent there, and I think size-wise, I'd fit in pretty well, and my style's a little different, however. And that might be where, could be a problem, maybe. But I would think styles make matches, and, my style could probably work with anyone. My objective with any match is to make anyone look good. So, and it'd be great to be Steve DeMarco and to bring in my fan base and gain a fan base. And, there's more opportunity. I could probably do more indies and do... my asking price would go up, so on and so forth. Probably travel more, probably go to Japan, probably go to Mexico, wherever I could kind of fit in kind of deal. It's on IPPV, it's got a weekly show that airs certain places, but, it's on the internet, so, anyone can kind of see it. Impact, hopefully I could keep my name. Now in some instances you don't. And the powers that be, again, may intervene and say, no, we want you to be this guy. And then there might be that growing, a growing curve right there, and that adjusting to it. And they have a developmental now, which is a good sign. But there is a little more TV drama, and they are on television, which would be good, reaching a bigger audience. Tell people on my Facebook, hey, you can see me on Spike TV. Who knows, maybe it would increase ratings, because I would come in and those that have caught me over the years are following, oh wow, this is awesome, and maybe that rating spike, help me out. Again, more freedom probably on a microphone. I think I didn't say this about ROH, but ROH or TNA or WWE for that matter, I don't think there's anybody on the roster, with the exception of a handful of guys, that can touch me on a microphone. I just, I'm there to entertain. I'm there to invoke passion and invoke belief, and I think I do it all the time. So, I wouldn't have to get so acclimated to that aspect. I think I could cut promos to anybody, and nobody there would, I don't think on that roster would, or ROH's roster would give me cause to pause. I'd be pretty confident. WWE. It is scripted, but so is all wrestling. It is, unfortunately. I scripted, it's more scripted, like more micromanaged, I could see that, and that might be what you mean. It seems more put on, but I think that has a lot to do with the cast. If you're on a show, TV show, you're part of a cast, and if you're given lines to speak and you don't sound like you believe it, well, it's either because they don't know how to speak for you, or you don't believe in what they're telling you to say, or there's just not, the collaboration's not working. Again, much like Impact and ROH, I wouldn't feel like I'd have an issue. There are certain guys I would love to see how we mesh as far as promo work, and guys like, there's guys there that I looked up to growing, Undertaker. It'd be good Triple H and me face to face. I'll get Michaels there. CM Punk. I'd love to have verbal battle against CM Punk, just to see. Pipe bomb. Anyway. But Jericho, I mean, there's a list of guys there, even Santino. Man, for me, like, as far as making a decision, I mean, freedom versus the stage. That's the balance. Like, if money's equal, like everywhere that I would get paid, compensated well to do what I do, and was given the opportunity, I think the thing with WWE would be that is, would they see me and go, you can't be Steve DeMarco, and all your work prior to now is nothing. Who cares? Who cares? We're going to make you this. And then it's becoming that, or trying to become that. And then it might be a situation of, as time passes, they see that I cut great promos. That would probably be what it would take, is cutting great promos anytime I was given the opportunity. And making the most of the opportunity. And not getting lost in the shuffle. Impact, I don't think I'd get lost in the shuffle. I don't think, WWE would just depend on when I caught them. But I think Impact, if they gave me the option, they gave me the ball, just even to run a yard with it, but I made that yard really exciting, then I think they'd continue to give me the ball. But again, it comes down to creative freedom meets the stage. I always said when I was first starting out that the thing I wanted to do most was to perform on the biggest stage that there was. And at this point, it's WWE. I mean, if you can get past all of it, the developmental and the learning and the retooling and the constant barrage to try to break you down so that you are a soldier. Well, hey man, I served my country. Taking orders isn't a problem. If I believe in the orders that I'm given, or I believe in the person giving the orders. So, at the end of the day, I would do what I'm paid to do. But if you wanted me to flourish, then you let me be what I am. I would say WWE simply, if all things being equal, if my freedom or the ability to tell the story they're wanting me to tell, but tell it in such a manner that people are engaged by what I'm doing, if you put that there, and you know, it's either or, but you get to perform on this enormous stage, you know, like you become the stuff of debate. To be at WrestleMania and to have people actually wanting to watch or debating about who I'm facing. Just the passion that you feel. And again, it would be great. On the other hand, it would be great to go to Impact and blow them away and become a ratings darling to where I now hold the power somewhat. Where my segments, anytime I'm on the show, people want to see it. Anytime I'm in an arena, those people are clamoring for me, and there you go. Then it becomes, well, you helped rebuild, or they were rebuilding, and you just were that added cog that helped the machine take flight. Or ROH, and just bringing a whole different audience to it, and helping them achieve more cities that they're aired in, and becoming kind of that. What I'm saying is, at the end of the day, yes, I would love to go to WWE, but if ROH came a-calling or Impact came a-calling and said, we want you, and the price was right, I would probably go to them too, because at the end of the day, it'd be even a bigger stage than I'm already on. So yeah, a really good question. I like thought-provoking questions. If anyone else has questions, feel free to ask me. Feel free to, you know, give me feedback. Again, it's been 5 years, and I have, you know, close to 1,400 subscribers, and I'm thankful for each one. But I want to get more, you know, especially this year. I definitely would like to get more viewers, and I'd like to know what it would take to get more viewers. Like, is it shorter videos? I've tried that. I've tried playing with the tags of the videos. I don't know if Facebook, putting it on Facebook has any, you know, causes any issue with the hits or anything. But it'd be great to just get more hits overall and just get more people interested in me, because then that means maybe I'm requested or demanded to go to other cities to perform, and then there you go. Now you get to see me in the flesh, and trust me, as entertaining as I am right here, right now, I'm way more entertaining in person. You ask anybody. So yeah. So, next week. Next week, if this happens, see me? Humble Rumble 19. Man. I don't think people quite understand that it's a big deal to me, still. I'll talk about it more in detail next week. You're gonna want to sit back and relax, but I will say this: when I announced my return to wrestling, I did it in a TASW ring at Coach's Sports Bar, which is where this event's being held. And I said there that if I was to come back, that I was coming back to win the TASW heavyweight title. Right there. And as you can see, the guy holding it is Mysterious Q, for those who don't know. Now, I have much history with Mysterious Q. I've tagged with him, I've faced him, we've been on opposite sides, we've been on the same side. He's been showcased on shows that I've ran. You check any IWE stuff when I was there, and this guy was showcased. He's a truly talented guy. But I said on that day, and he was champion on that day, I said I wanted the TASW heavyweight title. And on March 31st, 2012 at Coach's Sports Bar in lovely Humble, Texas, I will take part in the Humble Rumble, the 19th annual Humble Rumble, and I will be facing the TASW heavyweight champion, Mysterious Q, and I will be facing him for a title that has eluded me ever since I first stepped foot at TASW. And I'm excited just at the prospect and that night and that opportunity. It's like, man, if you can't draw it up any better. I put a lot of hard work and a lot of time and effort. I've changed my diet. Back in October I was like a certain way, and I knew that if I was going to have to face this guy on that day, on that weekend, huge weekend for wrestling, a very important event to me. I hope everyone who's in the Houston area just comes out and catches this show, because it's going to be something. I'm going to give everyone a performance. I'm going to fight tooth and nail, and I'm going to prove to everyone that wondered why I was coming back that coming back was the right decision. And Behind the Curtain will be there to film it, like they've been for most of my title defenses at GCPPW, and they're going to be here to catch history that night. I am going to do everything in my power. Q is a tough task, and I give him all the respect in the world. But I'm not coming to put on a great, phenomenal show. I'm there to prove that I am the show. And it's going to be more than just having people to mark out. It's going to give, I'm there, put it all on the line. So next week, yeah. But again, I appreciate everyone who's watched my videos over the past 5 years and who's subscribed to me and commented and has turned that enjoyment of the Lucha Lounge and gone to Behind the Curtain and watched that and watched as it's grown. And I appreciate the support. I appreciate all those that listen to me on interviews, that request me, that enjoy watching me work, enjoy watching me perform. I plan on putting videos out as often as I can and making the next 5 years something to remember. And it's already been pretty memorable. So with that, as I always like to say, I don't think I said it the first time, but it's become a staple. And that is, stay cool, stay sexy, stay classy. But for all of you who have supported me from day one of my wrestling career, to day one of my YouTube career, to day one of my Behind the Curtain career, to all those that will be there next Saturday, March 31st, when I take on Mysterious Q for that TASW title, and are just getting as big of goosebumps even thinking about it as I am. For all of those who will continue to support me, and for all of those who will come to support me, if you do all of that, and you enjoy your visits with the Lucha Lounge, well, then you already are all those. So, until the next time, later.